2 million years ago, the northern hemisphere was locked in a deep freeze. The Mammoth Steppe was an unforgiving expanse where every calorie was fiercely contested by massive, dangerous megafauna. High-stakes predators like smilodon and direwolves were the producers of this ecosystem. They took extreme physical risks to bring down prey, often suffering catastrophic injuries during the struggle. These brutal hunts left the landscape littered with high-calorie carcasses. Because the air was freezing, this meat didn't rot immediately. It became a durable, frozen resource, creating a niche for a specialized usurper to step in and steal the spoils. This was the brutal, frozen world of Arctodus simus, the giant short-faced bear. This chart shows how Arctodus compared to the largest bears alive today. At 2,000 pounds and 12 feet tall on its hind legs, it lacked a modern equivalent. An animal of this size could rely on its massive bulk to claim resources. By using its sheer physical presence, Arctodus could dominate a kill site, effectively forcing other apex predators to abandon their meals without a fight. Modern bears are built for grappling and digging, resulting in a pigeon-toed gait. Arctodus was different. It possessed unusually long legs and toes that pointed straight forward. Early research suggested these proportions made the bear a galloping sprinter, a predator capable of chasing down Pleistocene horses at 40 miles per hour. This graph shows why that theory fails. As an animal's mass increases, the stress on its long bones during high-impact running grows exponentially. At 2,000 pounds, a sustained gallop would have risked shattering the bear's own limbs. Its leg length was actually a tool for efficiency. Biomechanicists use the Froude number to calculate when an animal must transition from a walk to a more taxing trot. Because its legs were so long, Arctodus could maintain a high-velocity walk without expending the energy required for a run. It was a high-speed marathon pacer. It could march relentlessly across the freezing steppes for dozens of miles, following the scent of carrion or tracking scavenging birds to a fresh kill site with minimal metabolic cost. These limbs turned the bear into a continental stalker, an animal designed to cover vast territories to find and seize the kills of others. Reaching the carcass was the first step. The bear then had to consume its prize before competitors could intervene. The skull of Arctodus reveals a bizarre architecture. It had an incredibly short, wide bulldog snout that set it apart from every other bear lineage. This schematic shows how the shortened snout functioned. By reducing the distance between the hinge of the jaw and the teeth, Arctodus multiplied the power of its bite, creating a mechanical vise. This bite force allowed the bear to process parts of the carcass that smaller predators ignored, such as snapping the dense, frozen bones of a mammoth to reach the marrow inside. This chart shows 3D dental microwear maps for several bear species. By examining these textures, we see how much hard bone they chewed. Arctodus lacks the deep cratering seen in hyenas, suggesting it also consumed massive amounts of soft tissue and vegetation. The wide snout was an adaptable tool. It allowed the bear to rapidly strip huge chunks of flesh from a frozen carcass, maximizing its intake during a dispute. The bulldog skull allowed Arctodus to strip a contested carcass of its highest calorie resources as quickly as possible before moving back into the open landscape. Roughly 12,800 years ago, the Pleistocene deep freeze ended. The sprawling, dry steppes began to thaw into flooded, muddy marshlands. The warming climate triggered a wave of extinctions among the megafauna. As the mammoths and horses disappeared, the reliable supply of massive carcasses that Arctodus relied on was gone. Size became a liability. Without the ability to steal high-calorie megameals, the massive energetic cost of maintaining a 2,000-pound body led to a starvation trap. At the same time, the modern brown bear was migrating into the heart of the continent. Brown bears were smaller and more generalized. They could hibernate through lean seasons and pivot their diet to berries or fish, while Arctodus was locked into a hyper-specialized strategy that no longer worked. The decline of Arctodus suggests that, while being a terrifying apex titan is an effective short-term strategy, long-term survival favors animals that can pivot when the environment shifts.